Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your guitar playing host, at least today. You know, every week I put lessons up on BanjoBenClark.com and we teach banjo, guitar, and mandolin. This week is Guitar Week. We're going to learn pull-offs. This lesson's all about pull-offs. Okay, that lick that I just played for you to start the video is full of pull-offs. We're going to learn that lick. But besides that, we're also going to learn what is a pull-off. Some of you may be brand new to pull-offs. They're important. What are they? When do you use them? Maybe most importantly, what's the proper way to do them? Do you pull off going down? Do you pull off going up? We're going to answer that question. And then also on the website, I have tabs with 6 or 8 different exercises where we're going to work each one of our fingers about every which way you can to learn how to do pull-offs better, okay? So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, here in a moment, I'll ask you to go over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com, where you can see this lesson as well as hundreds of others. I do it each and every week. And over there, we've got all kinds of instruction. We've got MP3 practice tracks. We've got practice videos. We've got downloadable PDF and TEF file tab files. Okay, let's just start answering some general questions about pull-offs, then we'll dive into the exercises. The first question we want to answer is simply, what are pull-offs? Well, pull-offs are a technique. I have a term for these techniques that whenever we play called ornaments. And we have several main ornaments that we'll use in our playing. We've got pull-offs, we've got slides, and we've got hammer-ons. And all of these ornaments or techniques can be used to create notes that we don't actually pick with our picking hand. So whenever I'm talking about pulling off, I simply mean pulling off of a string and creating a note by pulling off while not picking with my right hand, just as I played that opening lick. Okay, so we're placing our fingers down on the string. We'll pick it, but then pull off that finger to another fret or to an open string to create a note. Now, the important thing with pull-offs is to get good tone and get good volume. And that's the toughest thing for people. The concept of pulling off is not that tough. It's actually making it sound good. And I want to tell you, this takes some practice and it takes some strength. And I'm going to give you some great exercises where you can learn how to do that. But when do we use pull-offs? That's the next question we want to answer. When do we use them? Well, in many of my tabs that I have, I will ask you to play pull-offs. And a lot of times it's to make the right hand picking or your pick hand picking a little easier. Okay, it allows you to skip a pick stroke whenever you play so that you can get more notes without as much effort with your right hand. But also pull-offs have a very specific sound. They don't sound like a regular pick note. You can hear that. It's got a slight little bend sound before you pull off. Okay? And so a lot of times we want that actual sound, just like in that G lick. That just sounds good. If you don't pull that off, it sounds different. And so we've become accustomed to hearing that pull-off sound in that G run. I will say that your strings make a difference. If you're playing medium gauge strings, it's harder to do pull-offs. Okay, I play medium gauge strings, but I've also been pulling off for a long time, and I was a piano player before a guitar player, so my fingers are pretty strong. So I don't have as difficult of a time. If you're just learning how to play pull-offs, I recommend that you go get some light strings on your guitar, that you get your technique down well, good, and then whenever you come over to medium gauge strings, that will transfer. A lot of times you can become frustrated if you're trying to learn pull-offs with medium gauge strings because they offer a lot of resistance and they can simply just hurt your fingers. I will say, as far as technique goes, this is where it gets important. When we look at technique, we're wanting to actually grab the string and pluck it, essentially. Okay, a lot of people think that pull-offs are just coming off the string, okay, towards the audience. But see, that doesn't do a whole lot of good. We might get a note in there, but what we're actually looking to do is to grab that string, pull it down or pull it up. We'll talk about that. Pull it down or pull it up, and then let the string go. Okay, so a good pull-off will create quite a bit of volume, almost as much volume as a picked note. If I'm just going to pull off on my 2nd fret of my D string there, you can hear how much volume I'm getting. Same thing if I pull up. Okay? And that's difficult to do, and it's more difficult to do with your ring finger. And we're going to show you exercises that can help build your strength with those other fingers. But after a while, you'll almost start to get a groove in your finger after you've played for a while, and you'll develop calluses on your fingers that will have little grooves, and I'll notice that the string will fit in that little groove, and it'll create a little wedge almost that's able to grab that string and pop it. Now, I want to tell you something very important here, right here off the bat. Whenever we do these pull-offs on these strings, what I'll see a lot of people do is do a pull-off with their entire hand. Or if they're pulling off going up, I'll see their other fingers move. If you watch the great players, here's the key. You ready? This is worth all your money here. You want your fingers to be independent, okay? You want your finger be independent. What I kind of liken it to, let's say you buy something from the store and it's got a little price tag on it, a little sticky price tag, and you're trying to get it off. Well, you'll take your fingernail and you'll rub it real fast. If you can just imagine trying to rub off a sticky price tag, that's the same movement that we're going to use whenever we pull off. If we get into using our whole hand or using our other fingers, then you're just exerting too much effort in the wrong place. So as we begin to play faster, we want that string, that finger to just be independent. Okay, so I can get a really clean pull off there with my ring finger. And essentially the only thing that's moving is that ring finger. Okay, so just like whenever you go to scratch off a price tag, you don't do like that with your whole hand, right? You just take your one finger and just kind of scratch it off. That's the same thing we're doing. Okay. All right. Now, the big question that we need to answer, the other big question, is do I pull off going up or do I pull off going down? Well, that's a great question. I have a friend of mine that emailed me about this, and he said that he was trained in classical guitar to always pull off going down. I took a little bit of classical guitar, and honestly, I don't remember what they taught me there, but my answer is know how to do both. Okay, know how to pull off going both up and down. We're going to work on that in the exercises. And let me tell you why. I think that most of the time I will pull off going down. What I mean by that is I'm pulling off towards the ground. Okay, but there are times where I'm going to pull off going up. And typically whenever I'll do that is because of an economy of motion. That's what I call it. We're looking to have economy of motion. What do I mean by that? I mean that if I'm pulling off, let's just say I'm pulling off my second fret here on the B string with my middle finger. And my next note that I want to play is that second fret on my G string. If I pull off going down, then I have to move my finger all the way back up to grab that second fret on the G string. Well, if you're going really, really fast, you've just added a whole much more distance to have to travel. Whereas if I were to pull off going up, look where my finger ends up. Right there where I need to go. See how much less movement that is versus... Okay, so there are times when I will naturally pull off going up because that's the direction my hand is going. Okay, and usually whenever we pull off, we're going down. We're going up the strings, I guess. Okay, so a lot of times I will use that. Even if I'm going to play a different finger down here, it still throws my hand in that direction. Okay, and we'll work on that in the exercises as well. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's look at working each one of these fingers with our pull-offs, and then we'll use some exercises to help put that into motion.